Hello and welcome to PASM464 Pastoral Counseling. I wanted to take a few minutes and introduce myself. My name is Emily Stone and I will be your instructor for this course over the next about 15 to 16 weeks. For just a couple of minutes, I wanted to mention a few things that I wanted you to be certain that you are aware of and paying attention to throughout the class. One, the first thing I strongly encourage you to do is to print a copy of the syllabus and keep it close to you so that you can refer to it frequently to be aware of the requirements and what each assignment looks like. And speaking of assignments, that's what I'd like to do right now is to go over the 5 different pieces to the class. And if you have your syllabus handy, you can look at that with me. It's under item number 6, evaluation. And there are 5 parts that I evaluate over the next 16 weeks. And the first one that is worth 25% of your grade is your case studies and reading. And the way I describe the case studies and the reading is every week you are required to read a certain amount of material, and there's a reading list. You can find that in the handouts. And then you are to do usually a case study. Sometimes it's a reflection paper, which comes under the case study as well. And the case studies and the reflection papers are based on your reading. So instead of a pop quiz or a reading quiz, these case studies serve to kind of show me that you're doing your reading and that you're engaging in the reading, that you're thinking about it, and learning how to apply it. So think about those case studies and the reflection papers in that way. You are trying to prove to me that you are reading, and that means in each one you need to cite your reading, cite what you've used to come up with your assignment. Okay. And each one is about 3 pages, double spaced, and you can see that written clearly in the syllabus. And it has some things there that I'm looking for when I grade, and you can go back and look at item number 1, their weekly assignments, to find out more about that. Number 2 is discussion board participation, and that is 25% of your grade, and I think this is huge. 25% of your grade is what you write in the discussion boards. This is an online class. This is not a independent study. This is a class online where you are engaging other students. So each week you have 2 discussion boards. You have one that you will post your case study or a reflection paper, and you can engage one another on that. And then you have another one where I might put up a hot topic, or we will discuss the reading in general. So every week there are those 2 discussion boards, and as I say in the rubric, which you can also find in the handouts, that you need to be posting 2 original posts in each of those discussion boards, and then responding to 2 people. Okay. So please don't miss this. You can score, if you scored 100 on everything else but didn't do this, you could still only make a C in the class. And I always hate that when people have done excellent work, and just because of their discussion board participation, because that was low, they ended up only having like, it dropped their grade down a notch or 2. So make sure you're engaging that discussion every week. Number 3 is field work. And that will come along later on towards the end of the class, but you need to start getting ready for it because it does require some preparation. And so there are 2 different fieldwork exercises. One of them is that you just need to find a friend or a colleague or a fellow student that you can talk with and just practice some of the counseling skills that you are going to be learning this semester. This is not a counseling session. This is what I call it, let me look over here because I'm looking at the syllabus with you. I call it kind of a practice. I'm not seeing it quite right there. Let's see. What do I have there? Kind of a chat, just like a practice chat with somebody where you're practicing these skills. The 4th thing is an interview of someone in the fields, maybe a pastoral counselor you know, or maybe your pastor who does some counseling. And just interview them, and I've got some guidelines there. And so you need to prepare for that. You need to call them and say, hey, I can't, later on in the semester, I need to interview you. I'm looking for someone to interview. Can we schedule that? So make sure you show them some courtesy and prepare in advance for that. Don't call them at the last minute and say, hey, this assignment's due tomorrow. I've got to interview you tonight. And the fifth thing is a final exam. And this final exam involves watching a movie, and I have some there listed: Ordinary People, Spanglish, When a Man Loves a Woman, or One True Thing. So you can choose one of those movies, and then you are to respond to it, and we'll talk more about that later. And so you're going to kind of invent a dialogue around a character in that movie and practice out some of your skills about how you would respond to them. Now, I do want to warn you, none of these movies are, none of them are perfect. So the cleanest of the movies in terms of questionable content would be Ordinary People and One True Thing. However, if you have any misgivings about watching any of these movies because of content, then I encourage you can read a book. And because Ordinary People is also a book, go to the library or order it on Amazon. That is totally fine. You can do this assignment perfectly well by reading the book. That is something you will want to prepare for. It's not a really long book, but it'll probably take you a little while, maybe a week or two, to read that. So you want to go ahead and get that book if you decide you would rather read rather than watch a movie. So those are the 5 assignments I really wanted to just make sure I said verbally to you when I am welcoming you to the class and trying to make sure you're as prepared as possible. This is an exciting class. I always have so much fun teaching it. I've been teaching for about 7 years now, and it seems like this class really is a practical class, and that's what I love about it. I love that I'm actually helping facilitate a class that I know is going to be helpful for you in your ministry or in whatever you're doing. And so I want to welcome you to the class. I introduced myself on the discussion board, but my name is Emily Stone. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. My husband's a pastor at a church here in Cleveland, Tennessee, where we live. We have 3 children. They're almost 7, almost 5, and 1.5. And I think that's about it. But I'm so glad to have you in class, and don't hesitate to contact me on the course site through email, and I will be posting devotions throughout the course. So again, welcome, and I am so looking forward to the next several weeks that we'll have together.